with Brian. He brought his twin-turbo Viper here. Brian, what can you tell us about this car?
Well, it's a 1998. Contrary to popular belief, it's a V10.
V10.
All the Vipers are V10s. 488 cubic inches, 8 liters, awful lot of liters. Stock, it had about 450 horse back then. One of the previous owners had a turbo system put into it. Very high-end. Hefner makes probably one of the best turbo systems around. On that turbo system, you can change the boost. They did some testing on the car. At the high end, 20 pounds of boost, they were able to squeeze over 220 miles per hour out of the car. On a flat, it was not a drag. It was just to see what the top end was.
Okay.
Could have gone faster. They said 220 is plenty good enough.
So, Brian, this here stock didn't come with any turbos at all.
That's correct. It was non-turbo, just fuel injected, and that was it. Good for about 450 horse. Back in the day, in 1998, when it was new, that's pretty good. Pretty good
absolutely,
horse.
Yep.
But as time goes on, everybody wants more horsepower. And one of the previous owners, he'd heard about turbo systems, so he looked around and found one of the better systems. A fellow named Jason Hefner down in Sarasota, Florida, installed a beautiful twin turbo system in it, and they did some testing on it. 20 pounds of boost, top end was over 220 miles an hour.
So, Brian, this here has a unique wing on the back here. Is this specific to Hefner?
No, actually, it turns out it's called a GT2 wing.
GT2, okay.
It was not exactly designed for a Viper, but it's for any high-speed cars.
Okay.
You'll see them on Lamborghinis, Porsches. You'll see them on anything that's got some real high horsepower in it.
So, Brian, here we have the hood open here. This is a monster of an engine, the V10 twin turbo. What do you have special underneath the hood here?
Well, the fundamental block is the red. The things that have been added that are turbo are the gas input rails.
Yeah, the fuel rails.
The down, that's where the air is being sucked in by the turbos.
Okay.
You can't see the turbos. They've been tucked underneath behind the fender well on each side. They're a pair of matched Garrett GT35Rs. That's a real high-end.
35s, yeah.
Yeah, 35, they're high-end turbos. There's plumbing all around here that, if you compare it to a standard Viper, you'll say, what is all that? But it's primarily air and fuel are being pumped because it sucks a great deal of air when the turbo cranks in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, massive quantities of air.
It looks like a minimum 4-core aluminum radiator.
Minimum.
Now that's an electric fan, so it's thermostat controlled.
Yep.
The turbos are tucked underneath. I mean, for the average person walking by, they look at it and they second guess, is this really a twin turbo? Because you don't see it.
No, you really don't.
Like Brian said, they're tucked up right up underneath. I'm sure it's a nice, neat job. I mean, there's really not a lot of room to work with stuff, so they have the kit specifically set up for that. Yep. But Brian, I mean, this is a fantastic car. I mean, everything's been put together really nice. It's a clean ride, and I'm hoping sometime we'll be able to go for a ride in it.
And I'll try hard not to scare you.
I don't scare easy.
That's good. What I haven't done yet, but I plan to practice donuts.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some burnouts, and because these tires they're not too far away from, they could be replaced not too far down the road, so I think I'll just hasten that along and
I think what you're going to have to do is pick up the phone and call me, and I'll assist you with that. I'll let you know if we're doing it right, okay? Now, these turbos, both of them spool up together,
yes.
Opposed to a sequential twin turbo where one kicks in and then another RPM.
They spool right up together.
They kick up together.
They're twinned and they're balanced so that they don't ever get out of sync. They are, to the nanosecond, they spool up right exactly together, because that's important for the balance of the power going to the rear wheels. You wouldn't want one get ahead. That would cause some imbalance in the engine. And these things are fussy. It's all computer driven.
Right,
this stuff is, I saw a readout. Jason, when he tuned it, I saw the numbers in the readout, and it was pretty much gobbledygook to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a computer guy.
Gobbledygook.
I recently installed stainless steel.
The stainless
door
steel,
seals.
very nice.
Fiberglass as they come in.
Very clean looking.
4-point roll bar.
Now, is this a bolt-in or is it welded to the
It's a bolt-in.
It is a bolt-in.
Yep.
That completely wraps right around.
Yeah, it wraps it
nice,
so you don't bang your head.
Out of the way. Very nice. I mean, I can see, it just wraps right around. It's a very, very comfortable fit. The pedals are a little bit offset.
Yeah, a little offset.
It has that racing feel to it.
Yeah.
Speedometer goes up to 200, which you're probably going to have to upgrade that eventually. And I mean, the gauges are all set up nice. The shifter, very, very comfortable. Just set your arm on the console here. Very comfortable. Plenty of headroom.
Yeah.
Plenty of headroom.
Good for 6 feet.
Absolutely. Clean. Very nice. Now I see the boost gauge is set up perfectly right in the middle, right in plain sight, so you don't have any issues with that. And you said this is currently set up for 8 pounds of boost.
8 pounds of boost, 93 octane.
93 octane.
Pump gas.
And at that boost, we're running
740 pounds, 740 horsepower to the rear wheels. Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
She's,
now this is something I wouldn't mind going to get groceries in, or maybe forget about the groceries and just not go back, you know. See, that wasn't so bad.
No,
I think my wife would let me get one. So walking around the show here, we came and met Josh here. He brought a 70 Camaro. Josh, what can you tell us about this?
It's a 70 Z28 RS. Spent about a year and a half on it. Basically smoothed out the whole body, got rid of all the emblems, trim, smoothed out the body seams, got rid of the marker lights. Did a lot of body work, just making it, you know, smoothing it out, getting rid of all the stuff I didn't like, drip moldings, stuff like that.
Right.
Just wanted to keep it real clean.
This here is what we call a split bumper.
Yep.
Later models, they had a full bumper that wrapped around. So this was unique to this here, and it has a urethane nose on it.
Yep.
Very, very nice job. The paint on this thing is immaculate. It's like glass. It must have taken a ton of hours to put this thing together.
Oh, yeah, it did. I mean, you know, body work, I spent, you know, probably a good 6 months on the body work. After we painted it, I put 4 coats of clear on it, and my wife and I probably spent 3 days wet sanding and buffing the car.
So, Josh, it must be great to have your wife involved in a project like this here.
Yeah, it is. You know, she had a lot of input on the car. She had her hands on it, probably just as much as I did.
Yeah.
You know, she enjoys doing the stuff. So.
Now, is she a true car fan or so?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. She was before I met her, and you know, she probably is more now than when I did meet her.
So she loves cruising around in it with you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent.
She drives it.
She loves driving it.
She drives it.
Nice.
That's for sure.
Nice. So, I mean, we're talking about the paint here. I mean, the traditional rally stripes coming up, but you have the ghost skull and the flames coming up into a little bit of the tribal theme here. Where did that come from?
Well, I do airbrushing and custom paint, and I just want to kind of incorporate that into the car.
So this here was done by you, this airbrushing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Do you do this professionally? Or?
Yeah, I do. I own IllFX Custom Paint out of Hudson, New Hampshire. I mostly do small stuff, motorcycles, helmets, stuff like that. But, you know, the occasional hot rod, you know, racing stripes, hoods, stuff like that I'll do. But, you know, it's something that I like to do. You know, I don't do a whole lot of it, but, you know, I've been doing it for about 10 years now, and it's just something I enjoy doing, something I wanted to put on my car so I could, you know, kind of show off my talent.
Nice.
You know?
So here we have your traditional dash. We have the dash painted, the trim to match the exterior, bring the outside to the inside. Very clean. Get the standard black carpet, black interior panels. 4-speed? No, 5-speed.
It's actually a 5-speed.
Yeah, it's a 5-speed.
It's a Tremec TKO 600 transmission.
Okay, so what did you have to do to modify this transmission?
I basically had to rebuild the whole tunnel of the whole transmission tunnel.
Okay, so the
and
tunnel
is all... the shifter's in a different location as like a Muncie 4-speed, so I had to close up that hole and then mock up the transmission, figure out where it was going to come through, and then cut my hole.
Okay. I see you got the interior, a little bit of trim pieces here done to carry the tribal from the outside inside.
Yep.
Very nice, professionally done, clean looking. Very nice. I love how the seats wrap right around you, too.
Yeah, those are, Procar makes those seats.
Procar.
Yeah, they're a great seat. You know, the original buckets, they were nice, but these are they're a little more comfortable. They recline.
Right, absolutely.
You know?
Kind of hold you in, and the old seats didn't have any type of lumbar support. So
no,
you with any kind of horsepower, you'd be holding on to anything you could, even your passenger, you know?
Yep, you get thrown around a little bit.
I mean, I see you incorporated the tack, the shift light in the dash. That's very nice LED, so it's nice and bright. Subtle. So you don't have a giant gauge popping at you and everything. All autometer gauges, nice and clean. Looks good. Looks good. Well, let's take a look and see what you have underneath the hood.
Cool.
So, Josh, what do we have underneath the hood here?
This is a ZZ4 350 Chevy crate motor. Basically, just use the bottom end of that. did Edelbrock heads, cam intake on it. It's got a Holley 750 double pump.
Okay, now see you got aluminum heads on here. You got a nice, that's probably a dual plane, it's an RPM Edelbrock.
Yep.
Dual plane, 750, and that's mechanical or vacuum secondary?
That's mechanical.
Mechanical secondary, so you know when you step on it, the
Oh,
power's
yeah.
right there, you don't have to worry about
My
it.
foot opens the carburetor,
That's it. And then you got a K&N, it looks like K&N intake, air filter on the top.
Cleaner, yep.
Topping it off.
Yep.
And I see you're running a standard mechanical fuel pump. Any reason for that over an electric fuel pump? Or?
Just reliability. I mean, you can't break those things, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, unless you round off a cam lobe or something like that. But, you know, the chances of that happening with a fuel pump. Now, I see everything else is trimmed out really nice in here. It's clean looking. The firewall is pretty much flattened out. The wheel wells are all, you know, all dressed up nice. I mean, you incorporated everything, painted it. I mean, it's taken you quite a while to do this here, so you got to have a love for this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, I wanted to smooth out the firewall, and when I got the car, it was in really bad shape. Everything was real rusty up on the cowl, so I actually had to replace that whole cowl panel. So when I did, I decided to just smooth it out and make it all one piece with the firewall. You know, smoothed out the heater box, the wiper motor cover. You know, just tried to make everything as clean as I possibly could.
So where did the car originally come from?
I found it. The guy down in Malden had it.
Down in Malden, Mass?
Yeah, Malden, Mass. The guy, he'd been sitting on it for a long time. From what I understand, the car had sat for about 20 years before I actually got it.
But was this one of the cars that you drive by it and you see it and you're like, oh man, I got to stop in and see if it's for sale?
Actually, I found it online. I was looking for a while. I was looking for about a year for a car. You know, I wanted to restore an old Camaro. I had a 79. I really wanted an early 70s. And this one just kind of found me. You know, I was just poking around online and went down, and I couldn't turn it down when I saw it. It was just, you know, the underneath was real clean. But, you know, the car was just, it was a shell. I mean, there was no motor, no transmission.
So, Josh, here we're at the back end of the car. This is a second-gen Camaro, but they carried this body style, or this particular body, from 70 to 73. What can you tell us about the back end that makes this unique?
The taillights, the four taillights, they only did that from 70 to 73, and the nice chrome bumper. You know, they used this before they went to those big, you know, big honking bumpers with the
the big 5 mile an hour, big safety things that were just gross.
Yeah, it's just a really good looking rear end of the car, you know. I took the spoiler and cut it down, shaved it down to a point here.
Right.
Just kind of thought that looked a little cleaner than a big bulky.
Right, because the original one came down around the corner here, wrapped around, and it was a one big piece. But yeah, you trimmed it right around nice, kept it nice and clean. Yeah, very unique looking.
Smoothed out some of the body seams and stuff where, you know, from the factory they were a little shaky.
Right, because that was originally a separate panel altogether.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you filled it in, kept it nice and clean. Yeah, very nice ride.